what I'm feeling, confused, relationships without meaning. I still know every word, it's like mad, I ain't heard this in years, fam.
Yo, what's good? It's DJ Elle. Gal like in the cut. This is what is on my playlist. That was so cool.
Where'd you get that magic pins with them windows?
This is what? Riding through. Why have we got a speaker in here? This should be way louder. We're not even doing this tune justice right now. You smoke so good. You're a superstar, boy. Why are you still up in the hood?
I remember the first time I ever heard that song. I was in my cousin's house in Streatham. Straight away I heard it. I could have only been like 8 or 9 and I heard it. And I was just wilding like, what is this? Like, I need to know about this guy. I need to understand this music. That was probably my first favourite like rap banger. And when I see him perform this in a real life, in a big Hammersmith Apollo, like, oh, it was emotional.
It's enough for my name check though.
These boys are repping the West Midlands so hard. 2 of Birmingham's finest. The way that I met these guys was just mad. So Scorpz, I was running the GRM Daily site and Scorpz must have hit me up one time asking me to watch his freestyle. I'd already watched it, I watch everything. Applied to him back his lyrics. I was like, yeah, man's doing bits and bobs or something. And this guy had the absolute audacity to delete his first tweet, yeah, and act like I just randomly tweeted at him. And I'll never ever forget that. And then we got to talking. I thought this kid was joke. And I got a name check in that tune too. Called up Elle for administrating, which it could have been better, it could have been worse, but you know.
Oh, this tune.
I don't know where you come from, yeah, but you're everywhere I go. So don't, yeah, when I got introduced to you.
King Wretch, you know. So all my other tunes are a hype and a gas and everything else. This song, this means a lot to me, differently means a lot to me. I think it had been out maybe a week or something and one of my really good friends passed away in a car crash and left behind another one of my good friends and their little boy who wasn't even 1 at the time. It was a couple months later and a gang of us went to V Festival and I was gassed to see Wretch perform, super gassed, but when he performed this it was just like raw, like really had to take a minute. It was about celebrating his life rather than just sitting and being upset. Like, it was like we enjoyed that moment. It made you sad, but you enjoyed that moment and reminded me anyway of this person that I lost and made me feel happy for a minute that I'd had the experience I had with man. Like,
Oh my god.
you're drawing me out!
What I'm feeling, confused, relationships without meaning. I still know every word, it's like mad, I ain't heard this in years, fam.
Babycakes and I want to do what it takes, the way you make me feel, the way that I am. I just want you to know that I'll be your man. I just want you to know, God, that song was huge at the time. So when I used to go to the under 18s rave, they were supposed to be performing, in fact, and I never forget, I've come in the rave and I was like, swear they're supposed to be here, but I think one of them was so short, yeah, that you couldn't even see her underneath all like the 13-year-olds in the place. I'm sure I had a boyfriend or 2 who would like try and be like, fling that on a voicemail to me or something, you know, like them noughties, early noughties times when everyone was cringy like that. Oh, I wish I put this other song in my playlist actually. I'm not even lying, yeah, I think I was 12 years old and I was like, I had a boyfriend. So, you know, and Nelly's singing like, Kelly, I love you, except he cut out the "ka" at the beginning, so it sounded like Ellie, I love you. And it was so gross and cringy and terrifying that someone would actually do that at 12 years old.
Murda pussy all in your tonight.
Them can't test Klashnekoff. Like a gun blast from Lennox. Fam, wheel it!
Now please imagine, you see me here now. I'm a white girl from South. I lived in Surrey, I grew up in Surrey. I was born in West London, but I grew up in Surrey, right? In a nice area. And I found this tune somehow from Channel U, I think. And I was only like 8 years old, and I just never forget. I would just bang this tune, and I was in the playground doing trim chow and that in a school full of other white children, and that song, it makes sense of where I've ended up now.
Then my heart's where the hood is, come my home's up in the hood, that's where it started. With my niggas we ain't parted, the same mind frame. Eat the whole cake, they lit the plates, then we were afters. They're hoping that I drop off or get nicked or in the box.
That song Thoughts is taken from the New Gen album, which I had a part in that. That was my sister's creation. But that song just does something, and everyone, before they listen to that album, I told them, when you get to track 13, fam, it's important, very important, and it's very special, and you have to just take this tune in. I remember my sister coming home telling me about this session, and don't know what was going on. They were all drinking and that, and then it got a bit emotional, and Dotty just went in this room and spat that whole tune. I think I nearly cried. I had to just sit in, we sat in pure silence, and I nearly cried. And still, I think that song, along with the album itself, defines a moment in the culture right now, specifically. I've got too many. I could sit here, I could do a whole series by myself, fam.
Mr. Lover Lover. Mr. Lover Lover.
Come on, girl.
Mr. Lover Lover.
Yeah. Mr. Lover.